I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12-round span. Like, you could tell every time he fight, it's always like a gas tank problem or...
Rough for anybody. But, Tank is a different animal, too. So, it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he going to win, oh, he going to win. No.
Going there and he's very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't there that night. Lamont wasn't having it.
Shakur Stevenson warns Lamont Roach not to fight Gervonta Davis again because he is the best and has the most power. He says Tank is killing fights and won't let Roach get lucky again. Shakur tells Roach to be careful or bad things will happen because Davis looks more ripped than ever.
I think it'll be a chess match. I think it'll be a boxing match. People talk about his power. His power is great. You can clearly tell that he's cracking.
Shakur Stevenson knows that if he ever fought Gervonta Davis, it would be the hardest thing he has ever had to do. He calls Davis a real threat because he knows how strong, skilled, and unreliable Davis is. Davis seems like a tough opponent who could really push Shakur to the edge. Shakur knows it won't be easy.
What would be your hardest matchup? Devin Haney, Tank, or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's gonna be Tank. I ain't say it before, but I'm gonna say it like me and him the big fight.
This training video shows Gervonta Davis looking fitter and stronger than ever. It shows how he has changed physically and how focused he is. His tweet, "Somebody is in trouble," which means he is locked in and ready to take over, makes more noise. Fans are looking forward to the next move in the fight. Roy Jones Jr. says that Gervonta Davis is a unique and tough opponent. She knows that the fight is uncertain, but she is still sure that Tank will show how strong and skilled she really is. Jones wants Davis to show how strong he is and why he is a scary enemy.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach because we haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers, amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first two rounds. But when they're in the pro rounds, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet, or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in at.
Roach is coming up on weight. That, a lot of people keep on saying that's a very big disadvantage for Roach. His power might not transfer to, to this weight class. What do you got to say about that to the critics?
Well, I ain't really got nothing to say to the critics because most of the time they don't know the hell they're talking about no weight, but I was able to carry my weight from 154 to heavyweight. You know how to do it right, then your weight, your punch will come with you. You don't know how to do it right, then yeah, you're going to lose your punch. So if he's a good, fundamentally sound fighter with a punch, he's going to have a punch at 130, then he's going to have a punch at 140. If he's not really fundamentally that sound, then he won't. That's why Tank was able to jump around. Tank fought between 130 and 140, whatever weight he wants to. Why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch going to be the same no matter what weight he got on. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, when you move up the weight, you're going to lose your punch.
That's exactly what what I thought you would say. Like, breaking that down and making understand that from 130, 135 to 140, I mean, you got to carry that power with you and how you're going to punch.
If you got fundamentals, you're going to carry it automatically. I took it all with a heavyweight from a junior middleweight.
When Gervonta Davis gets ready for his next rematch, he has recently teamed up with a new teacher who has suggested a new plan. By changing what he usually does to something more complex, he shows that he is taking things seriously. It looks like his training is more structured, with a focus on building up his stamina and strength. People are taking notice of Davis's hard work in the gym, which suggests that he knows the stakes are high this time and is making the necessary changes to ensure win.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Kevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
More and more people think that Davis didn't do well in the first fight. People who like and dislike him both agree that he didn't play as well as he should have, whether it was because of distractions or bad strategy. Davis seems determined to make things right now that his image is at risk. His most recent act suggests that he wants to clear up any doubts about his skills. There's no getting out of this time. His goal for the second fight is for it to send a message as well as a win.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Boxing fans and professionals have noticed Davis's recent lack of activity. Lamont Roach has been very public in interviews and on social media, but Davis has mostly stayed out of sight. Many experts think that this kind of silence is done on purpose. They believe Davis is working hard in the background and is fully dedicated to getting better. There are reports that Tank is getting ready for the rematch because of the difference between what Roach said and what Davis did.
Oh yeah, so we hearing that they got the fight set and scheduled, and it's going to be in Vegas, and it's going to be this August. So yeah, it's basically just been reported. I'm not gonna lie, we knew it was gonna happen because they both said they down to do it. They both said they got to do the rematch because it was too close. All I'm gonna say is I'm hoping that boy Tank, because he been quiet lately. Lamont, you been yapping. Talking about you should have won. You keep dwelling on that little almost close win. That boy Gervonta, that Tank, he been... We ain't never seen Tank in this mode. I will say that Lamont, you're a very skilled fighter. But you should be nervous because we ain't never seen Tank like this. He quiet. Like, he's literally hushed, bro. You just see him training. And now out of nowhere, he's like, hey, bro, we can set the fight up. That's actually dangerous. That's actually dangerous when you think about it. Like, dude ain't said a word. Even once the fight was over and pressed, he got the little hat on. He like, yeah, I mean, we could do the rematch. And he said it. I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to train. I'm going to just be quiet and work. Good match to Lamont. I ain't going to lie. If I was Lamont, I'll be a little nervous. You ain't got to be scared, but I will be a little nervous because usually Tank, he the one that's like, yeah, don't bring your moms to the fight. Don't bring your peoples to the fight. Dude been real hush-hush lately. I'm not going to lie, y'all. They said the fight set up for August. I might have to go to this one in person. In August is my birthday month. I might have to go to this one in person, bruh. Because this right here, at this point, they're rivals now. This is like the perfect boxing story. They come from the same side of the the mat, come from the same gym and camp. I'm not gonna lie, they've been at it since they was kids. This like the perfect boxing story, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. We might have to be in there in person. But like I said, y'all already know how I go. When it come down to it, I'm putting my money on my boy Tank. Lamont, you definitely are skilled, and I'm going into this fight knowing that basically I know you gonna put up a good one, but I got my money on Tank. We ain't never seen Tank like this, bro. Dude quiet, and he ain't saying nothing. The fight just got booked. Oh yeah.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't mince words when he said that this repeat is very important for both fighters. He said that neither fighter has a big advantage and that they should both give it their all. He stressed that any mistake could cost them the fight. Davis was told by Hackett how important it was to stay focused and do their best. Now is not the time to be too sure of yourself or too relaxed.
It's rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't there that night. Lamont wasn't having it. And he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking the knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night, and you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for, and he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
The previous champion, Mikey Garcia, talked about the rematch with more calm. He said that Davis usually learns from his mistakes and that he thought Davis would be better prepared. Garcia said that Davis was smart in the ring, but he also said that it might not work if Davis's mind is off. Mental mistakes could undo all the physical work that was done to get ready. Garcia went so far as to say that Davis shouldn't even go into the ring if he isn't fully focused.
And hopefully, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and then he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, and maybe they get a third fight, after that. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it turns the market back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup and they say, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight, shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right. Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that edge?
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. If you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him do it, let him do it. I don't know.
Kenny Ellis, who has been Davis's coach for a long time, talked about Roach's tough training videos. Ellis made it clear that fight endurance and gym success are not the same thing, even though he agreed that Roach was working hard. He said that Davis's fitness isn't the only thing that affects his fights. It's about wanting to win, being able to take hits, and moving when you're under pressure. He thinks heart is more important than practice.
You see a different Lamont Roach coming into this fight?
No, I don't. I tell people all the time, no offense, this is not a Lamont Roach, but a fighter can do everything in the gym, man. They can do their push-ups, their pull-ups, they can run 10 miles a day, they can eat their diet, they can change their diet, they can do everything right, but it have to be in your DNA to take pain. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Are you willing and able to take the pain that come with this shit? That's for any fighter,
Right.
And that's the difference in a lot of the fights. You gotta be willing to take the pain that come with it.
Now,
in the actual fight, not the training. In the actual fight.
In the actual fight, what's the difference between the pain inside the gym gearing up to the fight versus the lights and being on Showtime?
No, the workout pain, muscle sore, fatigue, that's different. But
they prepared you for those lights.
But that pain in the actual fight, man, when shit get rattled, your eggs get scrambled, your eyes get blurry, fucking mouth and nose gets fucked up. You know, a little bit of everything. Body shots. You just gotta be willing to take the pain and come with it. You know, getting your equilibrium every other round.
Since the last fight ended in a controversial way, fans have been arguing about who really won. Some people say Davis still had the upper hand, while others say Roach did enough. The restart is now seen as the only way to solve the problem. People really want things to get better. The crowd wants to know the truth, and both fighters have something to show. There will be only one clear winner. There will be no more close calls or ties.
I just want to know, when is the rematch going to happen at this point? Because I'm not going to lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won, it's just really like, okay, yeah, run it back, because we got to go ahead and settle this, squabble this up. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say neither fighter in here is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, yeah, they both was tagging shit, both getting up with each other, okay? I feel like this is the perfect match. If anybody's gonna do a rematch, you need to be down, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not gonna lie, he was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not gonna lie, he came out knowing what he was trying to do. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. At least I'm giving them enough day props, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he usually be 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight, and I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking, back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency through him through the whole fight. I'm not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch should happen, because never know, he might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead, and he might really knock his butt down. But at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch, because I don't think this is ever going to be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we got to see it.
This time, Gervonta Davis is under a lot more stress. If he fails again, especially if he doesn't have a good reason, it could be very bad for his image in the boxing world. One loss doesn't mean it was a bad night, but a second loss in a very important rematch could make people very worried about his reputation. People who like and dislike him may start to wonder if he really deserves to be called one of the best athletes ever. Davis has to work hard because his pride, image, and chances for the future are all at stake. This fight could shape his image for years to come.
Oh, is the rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate, because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the eternity on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half. So what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? It's really how your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just a personal opinion of the person, a history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank did really show him something at the second half, I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's to flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this shit again.
Before the fight, Kenny Ellis gave hints that Tank's camp would be changing a lot. Even though he hasn't said what it is, his tone makes it sound like something big is going to happen. Ellis's claim that the repeat will be different from the first fight has caused a lot of interest. His unwillingness to give more information has only made the planning process more mysterious. They believe that whatever is going on behind closed doors will have an effect on the big night. People in the boxing world are more excited than ever about the fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. Now that he has a new coach and is working harder than ever, Davis is under a lot of pressure to show what he can do and clear up any doubts that people had after their first meeting. Analysts, past winners, and his own team all say that there is no room for error this time. Davis's silence shows that he is paying attention, but Roach is sure of himself and speaks up.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both top of the game. I see a competitive fight, nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight. I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
The video for today is now over. Watch out. Until the next time.